Dag dames en heren thuis, u luistert dit keer naar een speciale editie van het shownieuws hier bij Geruis Met Pathuis. Ik zit hier in het Ramada Apollo Hotel te Amsterdam en dankzij Varol Porsemay van Hollywood Produksiyon is dit allemaal mede mogelijk gemaakt. En voor mij zit mag ik wel zeggen, een groot Hollywood acteur die u wellicht kent als Richard uit de film The Blue Lagoon. Ladies and gentlemen, in front of me is sitting Christopher Atkins. Hi, thank you for being in our show. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great also, thank you.
That's excellent.
Yeah. How was it for you to be so young and play a big part in a movie like The Blue Lagoon?
Well, it was the last thing I ever expected because I always wanted to be a pro baseball player, and that was my big dream. And my whole family are basically doctors and scientists, so I always figured I'd go into medicine, and out of nowhere I am running down a beach after Brooke Shields in a diaper. So how does that happen, you know?
That is strange, because I read something about that it was a friend. He pursued you to go down to audition, and you were chosen from 4,000 people for that part.
That's true. That was absolutely correct. I was teaching sailing to little kids in New York, and one of the mothers of one of the little kids took pictures of me and sent me into a modeling agent that they modeled with, and it was the last thing that I wanted to do, but they got me a job, and it ended up I made more money in that one job than I did all summer teaching sailing. So I did that a couple of times, and then I got into the Ford modeling agency on a dare, and they accepted me, and the next thing I know is I got a call to audition for a movie, which I thought was going to be really cool, you know, to audition. I can tell all my friends I auditioned for this movie, you know, it's called The Blue Lagoon, whatever, you know. And I went in and I auditioned for it, and then they kept calling me back and calling me back and calling me back, and then I didn't hear from them for about 3 months.
Okay.
And during those 3 months is when I got, you know, the summer started up. I graduated from high school. I had a tan and everything by then. They came back and they said to me, they want to see me again. And I said, well, heck, aren't you supposed to be shooting this movie now? And they said, well, we haven't found the right person. So they asked me if I would bring in a blonde curly wig with me. And I said, like, I just have blonde curly wigs in my closet. What do you think I am?
Because it was straight. Your hair was straight.
Dead straight. My hair is dead straight. So my mom happened to have something. And so I took that into New York City, and that's where the auditions were. I was from Rye, New York, just out of the city. And I went in there and I auditioned one last time, and the next thing you know, I got a call and they said, we want you to do the movie. And I'm like, I got a softball game. I can't do this movie. I don't know what to do, you know. And they said, don't worry about it. We wouldn't have cast you if we didn't think you could do it. And yes, I was one of 4,000 kids. So over those 3.5 months or whatever, they were auditioning all over the United States, and they somehow came back to me.
Yeah, wow. It was great for you for that time because you were so young and earned a lot of money for the first time.
Well, I did not earn a lot of money on the first time. They didn't pay me nothing, but that's okay. It was, you know, I had so many knee operations in high school that it kind of took me out of baseball anyway, and so I was a little depressed about it because that was my big dream, was to do that. And so all of a sudden this movie came up, and, you know, it was the last thing I wanted to do was a movie. But my mother said to me, she said, look, Chris, you know, it's kind of a life experience. You don't have to do it after this if you ever don't want to do it ever again, if it was terrible, you know. And I said, well, okay, you know, and we kind of talked about it. And I went off and I did the movie. And the last thing I ever expected was it was going to change my life the way that it did.
Geruis Met Pathuis.
Well, back to the movies. Is there any actor or director you think, he or she calls me, I go to LA or where that person is to make a movie with?
Oh my gosh. Well, of course, there's always Spielberg that you would love to work with, you know. The Verhoeven is a great director. You know, he'd be somebody I would love to work with. There's a lot of them that would be fun. Some of the action directors, and some of the, you know, I'd love to do another love story again. And there's new ones that are coming out all the time. But at this time, you know, now that my daughter's gone and my son's grown out and he's out of the house and everything, now I'm sort of starting again. But this time I want to direct. And I want to be a filmmaker, not just an actor. So I'm working on some of my own projects. Like I've got a film in Australia that I'm producing.
Oh, wow.
That's sort of a Crocodile Dundee. It's just an off-the-hook, goofy, nuts film that's just really fun. And so that's getting a lot of heat. And then there's a kids action adventure film that's set in North Carolina and all the haunted gold mines in North Carolina that I want to direct. And that's a really, really good movie. It's a really fun movie, but it's set up as a franchise. So, like, you know, I could bring the next one here for the next adventure in Amsterdam or in Holland here, that kind of thing. So it lends itself to that, but that's what I would like to do. So now I'd like to branch off more as a filmmaker and be a director myself.
Yeah. But you're also into the music. Very, very long ago.
Yeah.
And how was it to be 71 in the Billboard Top 100?
I know, that's pretty amazing, huh? And, the funny thing is I'm such a terrible singer, I can't even sing in the shower, and everybody can sound good in the shower, But thank God for machines; they can make a dog sing, Mm-hmm. But that was pretty amazing. I got a gold album on my wall, and I tell everybody, I always say, "Look, don't talk to me about. I got a gold album, okay?" Yeah. And they all shake their head because they know it was like, if I didn't have all the electronic help, it wouldn't sound so good. But it was fun. It was exciting. I mean, are you kidding? It was really wild. Yeah. And Olivia Newton-John, for instance, is a really, really dear friend of ours. Is like a godmother to our son. Her daughter and my son all grew up together, and we were dear friends. The whole time. So, the music industry has always been around too. In our lives. I wasn't much of a major singer, but I always wished I could. I did do the play Grease for a season. Which. I probably, I'm surprised it didn't run out of the theater when I started singing. Right?
Everybody sits down to see you.
They all get up and get popcorn.
Oh,
time to pee.
I saw a lot of movies are in post-production right at this time. Which one we have to see?
Well, there's a very dramatic one called Lake of Fire that I did just recently that's in post-production. That's a little film, but it's a very, very dramatic film, and I think that could be something very special on a dramatic sense. There was another film I just finished doing called A Horse for Summer, which was a kids movie with Dean Cain, and that's a nice, sweet, family film. But I'm about to do one that I'm really actually looking forward to do, where Francesca Eastwood, Clint Eastwood's daughter, I'm going to play her father in a movie.
Okay.
And the character is like all the kids and the parents are very much like the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory parents and kids, and it's called Kids versus Monsters. So it's a kids movie basically, but it's very off the hook, and I play this very, affluent. I was actually teasing Dr. Schumacher because I play a plastic surgeon in this movie who's just full of himself and can't stand this little brat daughter of mine.
Oh, cool.
And so the monsters and the kids, and it's a very funny picture. But I get to play this very sort of affluent, bad dad, so to speak. I can't believe I have to pay all these judges off for this daughter of mine who has to win every beauty pageant, and I'm going to be 0.001% less affluent, because of all the money. It's that kind of thing, and it's all about their money, and so it's just fun. But it's a character, and I don't get to play characters very often, so that's going to be really fun.
Well, Christopher, thank you for this interview.
Oh my God!
Yes, it's the ending. Thank you. Nou, dames en heren thuis, u heeft net geluisterd naar Christopher Atkins. En Richard, we gaan weer terug naar jou.
Geruis met Pathuis.